Today I'm going to be baking a quiche. Now a traditional French quiche is made with just bacon, eggs and cream, but my version is with chicken and mushrooms. So let's start with the pastry first. I've got about 175 grams of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Just a quick pulse, nothing more, just so that it gets nicely mixed up. And now I'm going to add the butter. This is 113 grams of unsalted butter. So this butter comes straight from the refrigerator and I've cut it up into cubes. So the butter's in and I'm going to pulse this till it looks or takes on the texture of wet sand. That's the texture I'm looking for. Now I'm going to add ice cold water. This is going to need anywhere between 2 to 4 tablespoons of water depending on the humidity. The texture that I'm looking for is that I want this to get really clumpy. Yeah, it's done. So there, this has got the right texture. I'm going to just empty this out onto this chopping board and I'm just going to shape all of this into a disc. We don't need to knead this, it just needs to gently come together. So I've shaped this into a disc and I'm just going to quickly wrap it in cling film and it needs to get into the refrigerator really quickly now. So I've got this pastry now from the refrigerator. If you're going to try to roll it out immediately, it's going to break up. You need to leave it out for about a couple of minutes before you can roll it out into your pie dish. I'm using a 9-inch tart pan, so I'm going to roll this out to about an 11-inch round. And you'll see just how easily I'm able to roll it out between these sheets of parchment paper. I'm going to peel off the layer of parchment paper and turn this over into the tart pan. There. Nudge it into the pie dish. With your knuckles, just knock it back into the shape of this tart pan. Just use a knife to trim off the edges. Just press that dough, the extra dough, into these gaps and cover up these gaps. Because otherwise, when you pour the custard onto this crust later to bake it, the custard will leak out. Just pop it in the refrigerator immediately for another 2-3 minutes and then start work on it again. I'm going to work on the filling. Just pour out about 2 teaspoons of garlic oil. Just let that heat up a bit and add about 1/4 teaspoon of chilli flakes. So now to this, I'm just adding about 1/3 cup of chopped up leeks. Just let these cook until they're a little bit softened, which will take about a couple of minutes. So the leeks have softened up a bit. Now I'm going to add some chopped up button mushrooms. This is just about 150 grams. I'm going to cook these mushrooms till they release the water and the water evaporates completely. Don't feel shy to turn up the heat at this point. So now to this, I'm just adding about 100 grams of chicken that I've just shredded up. I'm just going to mix it up because the chicken's already cooked and so the mushrooms. So now this pie crust is just nicely set and it's cool enough for me to work with. And I'm going to fill it up with some baking beans. Now these aren't any special beans. I've just got a mixture of black-eyed peas and some kidney beans. And the weights from these beans will make sure that the crust doesn't rise up while it's baking. I've got my oven preheating to 200 degrees Celsius. I'm going to bake it at 200 degrees for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes of blind baking, pull out the crust and pull off the parchment paper with the baking beans and pop this crust back into the oven for another 3 minutes so that the bottom cooks a little bit better. So the crust is really nicely blind baked. So you can see that it's taken on just a slight goldenish color, lovely sunny golden color. So what I'm going to do now is just brush it very lightly with some egg wash and pop it in the refrigerator again just for another 3 minutes or so, just so that that egg wash sets. So now I'm going to make the custard for this quiche. I've got just 3/4 cup of cream. I'm just going to crack 2 eggs. Just a gentle whisking to break up the eggs. And now for the seasoning, generous amount of pepper and salt, chili flakes. So the custard is ready now. Now all we have to do is just assemble the quiche for the final round of baking. So the crust is back. Now I'm just going to start layering it with first the mushrooms and the chicken. That's the first layer to go in. Just spread it out at the bottom. The next layer is of some freshly grated Parmesan. A traditional quiche would sometimes have Gruyere, but I feel that with this combination, Parmesan just adds such a whole lot of flavor. And the final layer of the custard. So now I'm going to drop the temperature of the oven to about 180 degrees and bake this quiche for about 20 to 25 minutes until the custard is just about set. There you go. That's my chicken and mushroom quiche for you. And now that you and I have made this short crust pastry together, I'm pretty sure that you don't find it intimidating anymore. If you like this recipe, subscribe to our channel. See you next time.